If you're fascinated by history, architectural ingenuity, or the hidden sensory worlds of the past, you need to subscribe to the Global War Archive right now, because today we're diving into something few modern historians fully appreciate: medieval acoustic engineering. The way sound shaped daily life, worship, warfare, and even politics in the Middle Ages is astonishing. And reconstructing it isn't just an academic exercise. It's a chance to step into the sonic world of our ancestors, to hear the spaces they built, and to understand why medieval spaces were designed to guide both the eye and the ear. Medieval soundscapes were far from accidental. From the vaulted ceilings of Gothic cathedrals to the echoing corridors of castles, every curve, chamber, and material was chosen to manipulate sound in precise ways. Monastic chants weren't just devotional, they were designed to fill vast stone halls with resonance, creating a spiritual experience that could overwhelm the senses. Likewise, medieval marketplaces and urban streets were engineered, intentionally or not, to carry specific auditory signals. Media group, medieval marketplace scene, medieval city street, bustling town square in the Middle Ages stock distribute equally the clang of a blacksmith's hammer, the town crier's announcements, the subtle hum of daily commerce, all choreographed by the layout of buildings, street widths, and materials. If you're serious about understanding the past, you can't ignore what people heard as much as what they saw. The first step in reconstructing these lost soundscapes is to understand medieval building materials and their acoustic properties. Stone, wood, and plaster each interact with sound differently. Large stone cathedrals, for example, had long reverberation times, which allowed a choir's voice to linger in the air for up to 10 seconds. This wasn't accidental. Architects, often guided by builders with empirical knowledge rather than formal theory, created interiors that amplified certain frequencies and softened others, enhancing the human voice while muting ambient noise. For modern historians or survivalists interested in acoustics, visiting these sites and testing their natural reverb with simple sound recordings can reveal the intentional design choices of medieval builders. Even using basic materials, like replicating plaster textures or layering timber, can help recreate these effects on a smaller scale. Another often overlooked aspect is the spatial arrangement of structures to guide sound. Medieval halls, chapels, and fortifications frequently employed curved walls, domes, and even underground channels to manipulate how sound traveled. For instance, in some monasteries, hidden corridors or whispering walls allowed monks to communicate across long distances without being overheard, an early form of acoustic privacy engineering. In castles, defensive towers and courtyards were designed so that alerts, alarms, or signals could carry efficiently across the grounds without relying on visual cues alone. Modern practitioners can apply these lessons in practical ways, from designing acoustic-friendly living spaces to understanding early warning systems in survival scenarios, recording echoes, mapping sound propagation, and experimenting with chamber layouts can reveal centuries-old strategies that are surprisingly effective even today. The relationship between sound and ritual cannot be overstated. In religious spaces, acoustics shaped devotion. The resonance of a Gothic cathedral wasn't just aesthetic, it created a shared sensory environment that reinforced hierarchy, devotion, and collective experience. Choirs were placed in specific locations, sometimes in galleries above the congregation, so their voices would descend and envelop the space. Bells were tuned and positioned to maximize range and clarity, not randomly hung. For anyone reconstructing these soundscapes, studying manuscripts or architectural plans to locate choir stalls, bell towers, and pulpit placements provides critical insight. Practical exercises, like reproducing chant recordings in these spaces or using scale models, allow modern listeners to experience the same sensory effects intended by medieval designers. Urban soundscapes were equally deliberate. Streets were narrower or wider depending on whether merchants needed to be heard, while markets were often arranged around central open squares to amplify conversation and negotiation. Town criers' voices were literally the medieval equivalent of public speakers, and understanding how sound traveled in these environments can inform everything from historical reenactments to architectural restoration projects. By measuring distances, documenting material surfaces, and experimenting with voice projection in historic sites, you can uncover how medieval societies engineered auditory experiences to organize, control, and communicate effectively. Reconstructing medieval soundscapes isn't limited to research. It has actionable applications for education, restoration, and even survivalist training. Teaching medieval history through sound, for example, provides a multi-dimensional experience far beyond reading texts or viewing images. Rebuilding echo patterns in classrooms, producing authentic sound recordings for documentaries, or designing spaces with intentional acoustic features can bridge the gap between scholarship and lived experience. For survivalists, understanding sound propagation, echo management, and auditory awareness in historical contexts offers insights into human behavior in environments without modern technology. Ultimately, lost soundscapes reveal that medieval people weren't just living in visually striking spaces. They were immersed in environments carefully tuned to influence perception, emotion, and communication. By studying materials, architecture, and urban layouts, and by experimenting with sound propagation, we can reconstruct sensory experiences that were once central to daily life. This is not theoretical. It's an invitation to step into the past, to feel the weight of sound as people did centuries ago, and to apply those lessons in tangible ways today. If this deep dive into medieval acoustic engineering has intrigued you, there's much more waiting on the Global War Archive. Subscribe to the channel and share this video with fellow history enthusiasts. Every space has a story, and when you listen carefully, you can hear the past speaking directly to you. Don't miss out on uncovering the next lost soundscape, because the echoes of history are waiting.